Welcome to the Finance Magnates Africa Summit here in beautiful Cape Town. I'm with Janeal Delport, the CEO of Swyft Markets. We're so glad to have you here, Janeal. Thanks for coming and welcome to the event. There's a great energy here in South Africa. How are you enjoying it so far?
Thank you for having me, Adam. I think for us at Swyft Markets, with this being the first time we are here, it's actually been exceptional. It's well above what we thought it would be as a brand that newly started. So yeah, it's great. Thank you.
Wonderful. As you grow in the trading and Fintech space, what's the bigger vision behind the company? And what are the gaps in the markets that you're looking to address?
So unfortunate that my team and I have been in the industry for close to a decade. Some of us longer than a decade. We've been working in a lot of the major South African brokerages, and we've learned what are the things that have been good in our space, what are the things that were on the line, and the things that were not so good for our clients. And Swyft Markets, being a culmination of that decade of experience, is where we are bridging that gap between what the client wants, what we can easily offer, and also what does the regulation expect of us in terms of what our clients need.
That's wonderful. Trust is one of the biggest factors when choosing a broker. What's Swyft trying to do to build trust and to build a strong brand here in Africa and South Africa?
So I think, again, the core of who we are is our team, right? And we're fortunate that as part of our team, we have a lot of staff members that is known within the industry, and they have those connections that span well beyond just Swyft Markets. It's those connections where people know that, oh, there's Blake Fiances, I've met him. I've met him when he was working at another entity. He's always done right by me, you know? So for us, that is the first step, is having the right team in place. Secondly, when looking at regulation and how we operate, we treating our clients fairly is at the core of our business. And we will treat the client that's $1 million investor the same as a client that's a $10 investor. You know, having that transparency with our clients and our partners is important to us when it comes to client safety and regulation.
Great. Let's talk about partners and networking. This event brings together traders, brokers, fintech providers, liquidity providers, and decision makers. What conversations are important and at this stage of growth, and who are you looking to tap into? What are you looking to tap into for your next stage of growth?
So I think for us, we came here with very limited expectations. We did not know what the reception would be. We knew it was our first time here. We only launched in February of this year. So we kind of came with the knowledge that the only thing that would get clients and partners to our booth would be the personal relationships we forged for the last decade. And what we quickly realized when we stepped in here yesterday was that we have gone well beyond what anyone could have imagined for us. And I think the partnerships and the communications and the conversations that we have received over the last 2 days were conversations we ourselves didn't know that we needed. You know, we had service providers come to us and I'm like, oh yes, you're right, I actually do need this, you know. Or we had payment providers come up to us that says, you know, we can service and assist you in different jurisdictions. Conversations we haven't even planned for because we only launched 3 months ago. You know, so for us, where we're at, I think we rapidly grew over the last 2 days as well. We've adjusted, we've pivoted, and moving forward, our conversations will be your IB affiliate partners, right? That needs a home in South Africa where they feel that they can come, we can be transparent with them, and the clients can be safe. But also third-party service providers that are looking for an up-and-coming brand that has an appetite to do something in the market that no one else was willing to do it. And to reach those jurisdictions that we think deserve to have a good and stable brokerage.
Well, you built such a strong brand already. We can see it here, the beautiful look to it, everything else.
Thank you.
Let's talk a bit about technology and some of the things that you're hoping to do, and you know how technology is going to help your broker grow.
Yeah. So, we're fortunate that we made a decision to launch our brand with support for your general traders across the board. And that's how we have Metaperts MT5. We also have seat data, and we also have an integration of the trading view charts on seat data for our clients. So what we decided to do was we decided to make available these platforms. Even if we have one trader using that platform, we will support it. And the day when we have an influx of clients in need of that platform, we'll really have it set up. We're really supporting it. Our infrastructure is built to maintain this and to make sure that you as a trader can switch and come over to Swyft Markets with as much of an easier path as possible, right? We also lucky that we've partnered with the CRM provider that has secured themselves in this industry for the last 20 years. They're one of the biggest names in the industry, and the manner in which they have supported us and allowed us to have requests that are out there for them to build and try and achieve our dreams and our visions alongside them has really been amazing to see, and also to experience as we try and support our clients with the technology available in the market.
Well said.
Yeah.
You know, Africa is such an interesting market. I've been coming here for 4 years in this event and here in Joburg.
Yeah.
And you've been in this industry for a long time as well. You know, there's so many quick changes, the rapid changing South African trader.
Yeah.
What are some of the trends that you're seeing in the market and in trading in this part of the world?
Yeah. So I think if a lot of the brokerages that come into South Africa forget firstly on what our economic circumstances are like. It's not always possible for a South African client to deposit $100, right? But they're able to deposit $10 4 times a month, you know? So value of that client may at the initial deposit look low, but those are clients that are consistent. Those are clients that you can depend on and rely on, and you can service them in the system, right? So when looking at that, we have to realize that our regulator is dealing with a client base that don't necessarily have a lot of disposable income, right? Some of the clients that we get should not be paid. That's why it's a high-risk industry, right? And the trends that we've experienced over the last 2 or 3 years have been very much our regulator trying to limit the risk on those clients, and how we have to adapt in terms of ensuring that our business can survive, whilst also doing what is right for the market we are in. Right? There's no point in as onboarding a client and he has to spend the last 100 rand that he has and he loses. Yeah, that is not our business model. That's not who we want to be. So we have had to rapidly change the way we operate. We have to adapt to regulation, and regulation can be good. You know, it's just how do we respond to it, and how do we adapt in terms of those regulations, which is important. Is Conduct Standard 1 that came into effect in March of this year, which will now regulate financial education provided. You know, over the last 5 years, it was the Wild West, you know, where everyone was a mentor, everyone was someone that is giving financial education. Now the regulator actually stepped in and said, if this education is linked to a product, this must be a licensed institution doing it. You know, so our regulations are changing so rapidly that the things our clients have, or the clientele we has, is based on how quickly can you pivot, how quickly can you maintain compliance, and how quickly can you make a decision that impacts the client in the least way possible, I think.
So well done. I'm a big fan of education.
Yeah.
Let's look ahead to 12 to 24 months and where you expect Swyft Markets to be and where should we expect to see you in 24?
So I think, again, the last 2 days have changed perspective. I think when we set up Swyft and we launched in February, the intention was, let's dominate South Africa and let's become the biggest, most trusted entity in South Africa. Over the last 2 days, we've had a lot of partners come up, and they can't believe that we are not just the South African branch of a global entity because of what we've put out there, how we've presented ourselves, the service we offer, our presence at IFMAS. So I think over the last 2 days, I've shaped our next 12 months into looking into global regions. How do we get licensed in those regions? How do we ensure we can support those clients in those regions? That's why I said earlier that the conversations we've had with partners were kind of conversations that shape who we are and will shape us over the next 6 to 12 months, even 24 months in those regions that people will really expect us to be in, and we're not. So yeah, I think in 12 months you will see us at probably every Finance Magnates Summit across the globe. And hopefully at way more jurisdictions than we have currently even anticipated. I think that is, we want to grow rapidly, but we also want to grow slow. You have to, in terms of our client onboarding, we would like to onboard a lot of clients. But in terms of how we do things, we want to make sure that we do it right, you know. And as the saying goes, fast is slow and slow is fast. Well, if you want to rush things and you don't do it right, we're going to have to fix all of those issues along the way, which we will rather do it slower than our competitors and get to the market right than having to do a U-turn and lose the confidence of our clients.
Well, it's so wonderful to have you here. I look forward to seeing you back here next year.
It was wonderful to be bullied into this interview. Yeah, but I enjoyed it, and thank you for having me on here.
Cheers.
Thank you so much, brother.